waiting for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real. With the non-stop pop-up stainless steel. Go hard, getting busy with it. But I got such a good heart that I'll make a motherfucker.
Holy cow. This climb is so terrible normally on a regular bike that I don't choose to do it very often. Oh, but this thing is just blasting up this climb. It's unreal. Tell me in the comments if you know which trail I'm talking about. Straight up. Oh yeah. Oh man. This I would be hiking without a doubt. And this thing can just like coast up it. Oh, it's like the bike itself has more traction somehow. Like, I don't understand how this much power and torque going into the back wheel doesn't just spin out, but instead it just grabs. Must be a combination of that extra weight, and then also, of course, this bike has the Schwalbe radials on it, which must make a bit of a difference as well. Like this is all just loose rock, and it's just finding traction somehow. Wow, this is nuts. I can just climb up all this. Unreal. Damn. This will be a loose and somewhat techie descent. Definitely a pretty raw backcountry trail with lots of loose garbage along the way. Boy, I gotta say, these Mavens are impressive. The amount of stopping power it's given me on how steep this trail is wild. And it's just doing it with ease. Like I'm not having to pull the lever that hard. Yeah. Man, these Rockshox lineup of suspension is just so good and so responsive to your adjustments. One click makes a noticeable difference on these, as opposed to my experience with Fox stuff, where you make one click, you ride it, feel nothing. Make 2 clicks, feel nothing. 3 clicks, feel nothing. And you just get lost in the adjustments on the Fox stuff. On this Rockshox Zeb, I had it 3/4 to the plus on high-speed compression, and I was feeling too much feedback through my hands. So I went down 1 click, 1 simple click. And it instantly made a difference. All of a sudden, I actually did notice a pretty decent improvement in suppleness. On the fork. Yeah, not nearly as much chatter in my hands. So let's do a quick bike check first, and then we'll talk about it maybe while we descend on this double black trail called Terra Ridge. All right, so this is a 25 Transition Regulator CX. So it's a carbon bike, and from front to back, it's running the Schwalbe Albert trail casing, ultra soft radial tires, which is sick. It comes with the DT Swiss 1900s hybrids. It's got the Zeb Ultimate with the Charger 3.1 damper on it. This did not come stock with it. These are the Maven Ultimates. These brakes are super powerful, by the way. Insane. Most powerful brakes I've ever tried. And then it's got a mechanical drivetrain. Shimano. My first time owning a bike that has Shimano on it. And it's actually pretty nice so far. I like it. It's got a carbon 1-up handlebar on here, 35 mil rise, which is pretty sweet. It's got let's see, the controller, power controller. As you can see, I have used just about all of my battery for this ride. So then in the back, it's got Rockshox Super Deluxe Ultimate in the rear, which is feeling really good. I know it's not like your Vivid or your Coil, but it's feeling really plush. I think the extra weight of this bike is just making things feel ultra plush through everything I'm riding. It's pretty wild. And then it's running the Bosch CX5 motor with the update. So it's putting out 100 Newton meters at 600 watts of peak power with a 600 watt battery that goes down here in the down tube. One interesting thing is it's running 155 mil cranks. These things feel tiny, and it's kind of weird, honestly. It's a little bit odd. They do feel extra small, extra short, but I'll get used to it. I'm definitely not even getting close to pedal striking, which has been pretty nice, I will say. Let's see. So the Maven brakes, and it comes with HS2 rotors, 200 mil front and rear, which is pretty sick. A 1-up dropper. This is a size medium, by the way. And so it comes with a 180 1-up dropper, which is a little bit underwhelming. I'm gonna need a 210 so I can get it slammed, because I can get it slammed, I believe, with a 210. And then in the back, this has got the gravity casing, Schwalbe Albert Radial in the soft rubber compound. And then, like I said, the drivetrain is running Shimano Deore XTs. So that's, I think, the entire bike, front to back. Let's just hop on it and give it a ride now. So this is my second ride on this bike. My first ride was 2 days ago, and on my first ride I ended up doing nothing but dry, loose skidders, and it was a little bit interesting. You know, a new bike makes you feel a little bit skittish on it. Don't really want to go wide open quite right away. Okay. Try not to get cross-rutted on this section. And so I had it fairly wide open for my comfort level, at least. I was following a guy who, absolute ripper, so I was a little extra motivated to get the pace up. But I noticed that the bike fits me fairly well. It does react a little bit different to steeps than what I'm used to on my other bike. It's a Stump Jumper Evo 2023. And so I notice a little bit that it feels like the front end steering is a lot more responsive. And in my case, that wasn't really necessarily a good thing for me, as I felt like I was getting a little bit of like oversteer going on, or maybe just too much weight on the front potentially. And so that's the other part of it probably, is that my Stumpy Evo has 50 mil rise bars on it, and these are 35 mil rise. And so I think maybe I just felt like I was over the front a little bit more than I'm used to. And then, you know, only riding ultra steeps on that first ride. So anyways, we beat that to death. Since then, I've had a chance to do some, not just steep trails, but like some flow stuff. I did bobsled. Then I just did a freaking mountain epic up there to the top of Black Mountain, which is up above bobsled. Oh yeah. And now we're coming down Terror Ridge. Haven't done this trail in a while. That's one of the things about this whole e-bike thing, dude. Terror Ridge is a brutal climb. And so it takes a little bit of extra mental fortitude to commit to doing this trail, which is why I don't really do it that often, you know? Okay, so it looks like it's that way. But this e-bike, oh my gosh, it's insane. I came up, I did a lap on bobsled, I came back up, climbed up to Terror Ridge, then I climbed an additional 2,000 feet probably to the very top of that mountain right there, which was really wild, super steep the whole way. And then I came back down, and now I'm here at the top of Terror Ridge. I'm gonna go down that now. Okay, so we're gonna break it down kind of by components. Suspension feels incredible. I'm absolutely a Rockshox guy, and I have been for a while now. Oh. That's tech. That was tight. I have been for a while now, so I was stoked to see that this had a Zeb on it. The Rockshox Super Deluxe I'm also fairly used to. That's what I'm still running on my Stumpy Evo. On my Evo I had a Vivid coil, and that was fun, but I ended up going back to the Super Deluxe because it just fit my riding style a little bit better with the extra pop that you get with it. So I'm definitely not disappointed that this has the Super Deluxe on it. I may end up getting a Linear XL air can for it, as that's what I did with my Stumpy Evo, which did add quite a bit of plushness, but at the same time it is feeling as plush or more plush than my Stumpy Evo with the Linear XL air can on it. So it just it's kind of surprising how good of a combination this bike has of playfulness and ultra soft and plush suppleness. All right, and then the Zeb just feels a lot like my Lyric. I'm not sure if I can say that I notice extra stiffness. It feels very, very similar to my Lyric. You know, it's a bigger or a heavier bike, so it needs to be able to be tough enough and strong enough to handle, you know, the extra abuse of the weight of this bike, because, you know, I will be sending this bike off of the same kind of gnarly stuff that I do on my Stumpy Evo as far as drops and jumps go. Okay, this might be a mistake. We'll see. All right, next, this is a fitting point for this part. Brakes. I have had plenty of SRAM brakes over the years, but I've never had SRAM Mavens. And these things are powerful, unreal. So for context, I'm coming from the Lewis LH4 brakes, which have been a total favorite of mine. I've been loving those brakes. They just have a super good combination of power and feel as far as like modulation goes. They modulate super well. It's really easy to find the bite point and hold it without overshooting it. Now these ones, these Mavens, feel very similar to the Lewis brakes, but they have quite a bit more power, I will say. Whew. Hey there. Whew. So with the Maven brakes, I'm really liking them. There's a ton of power on them. I will say the lever pull is stiffer, is definitely quite a bit stiffer than my Lewis brakes. My Lewis brakes just have such an insanely light, they're like TRP light lever pull on it, which is super nice. I mean, it just feels like you can just hold that like right on the edge of no braking and then starting the braking. You can just hold it right there with almost no arm pump that you develop. These brakes, I'd imagine on long descents where I'm really pulling the brakes hard, I imagine I'm going to feel a lot more arm pump, which is definitely a downside. You know, it's something you just got to figure out. So the power is much more on these though, just clearly more. So like I said, the size on this is a medium. It's a very similar reach to what I'm used to on my Evo. It's definitely on the shorter side. For me, it feels like maybe it's a tiny bit shorter, which part of that I think is just that the C-tube angle is a bit steeper on this bike compared to my Evo. And so I'm pitched a little bit, I'm sitting a little bit forward. I might end up pushing the seat all the way back on the seat rails so that I can get a little bit more room in the cockpit while I'm climbing and stuff. I think that'll help just a tiny bit. And then the motor on this is the Bosch CX5, and I have all of one motor experience, which is this one. I have never ridden a different e-bike with a different motor, at least not enough to gather an opinion about it. And so I will just say it goes. I don't know. I mean, it's got a 600 watt hour battery in it. It's got 750 peak watts of power on it, and then 100 Newton meters in the motor. It's plenty. I mean, it's enough. It's enough power for me to go out and really send it up some super steep stuff that I would absolutely be hiking on my regular bike. It would be impossible for me to climb, and maybe even impossible for me to hike, honestly. The stuff I just rode, the climbing section that I just rode, was insanely steep and loose too. So, and speaking of the looseness, hold on a sec for this wind. All right, yeah, so speaking of the steepness, this thing was able to climb up some of the steepest stuff with loose rocks all over the place, and it just somehow found traction. I don't know if that's like a combination of like some form of like really good torque control in the motor, I think is what that has a lot to do with. I had it in purple mode while I was climbing a lot of that, just so that it can adjust a little bit to your input. and not just like whiskey throttle you on your way up. So I wonder if it's a combination of that being really good and controllable in combination with these Schwalbe tires, because these Schwalbe tires, all right, because these Schwalbe tires are they're feeling really good. I mean, like I said, it's kind of hard to tell like what's creating the increased traction that I'm feeling, because I'm on a completely different bike. You know, it's, if I put the Schwalbes on my Evo, I'd be able to tell the difference for sure. But from what I can say about these tires is they feel really good. I'll say the profile of these tires is one thing that I think I'm trying to get used to. They feel like they're a little bit more rounded than what I'm used to on Continentals, Specialized tires. They just, the tread face on these tires feels like it's more rounded, so there's not quite as much of a distinct lean angle where it bites into those side knobs. Feels like it just keeps leaning, and I can't quite like easily find the side knobs and get it on those. I don't know. Looking at the profile of it, it does look like that as well, from what I'm used to seeing on like I said, my Continental Cryptotals, my specialized tires, and then some Maxxis stuff in the past as well. I feel like Maxxis is kind of rounded out too, but anyways, that's what I'm noticing with these tires. They do feel super supple. The whole bike feels insanely supple and insanely quiet. There is zero rattle in this bike. It's insane. Not to mention the rear hub. The rear hub is completely silent. You let off the motor and listen. Nothing. Nothing but tires on the ground. Drivetrain's fine. I will say I am clunking a bit and trying to get used to this whole, tons of power from a motor thing. And so I've definitely had some really hard shifts where I've wondered if I was going to snap a chain, honestly. So I need to be careful. I could see snapping a chain being a legit reality on accident. It's probably worth buying an additional chain or having plenty of master links so that you can repair that on the trail or at the trailhead. All right, man. Well, I will say the bike is feeling great. Getting used to it, obviously. It's a new bike, and this is mine. This is my bike. I purchased this 2 days ago. This is my second ride on it, and I'm loving it. I definitely made a good choice with this thing. I'm just getting used to it. If I was gonna say, like, in a nutshell, what's been my experience on this so far, with two pretty nice big rides so far, I would say it is not what I feared an e-bike would be as far as the weight and the maneuverability fears. This thing is ultra playful. Like, it dances all over. You can pop this thing all over the place, and it does not feel like you're picking up 47 pounds when you're popping it around. It's actually, it's super surprising to me. I was fully expecting that I was going to have to get used to this extra weight. It was going to take a while to really get used to it. And while, yes, there is more weight, and it is there, and it's not quite as, it's not nearly as like flickable and poppy and bouncy, as my Stumpy Evo is. Stumpy Evo, it's an analog bike. You can just like pick the back end up and place it wherever you want. And this one, you can too. It's just like a little bit different playing field. But man, it is absolutely a blast. It's not like it's less fun than my Stumpy Evo because it's a little bit harder to place the back wheel where you want it to be. It's just different. And man, it's completely worth that trade-off to be able to get as much riding in as you can get. I mean, I just did 4,342 feet of elevation gain in almost 15 miles in only 2 hours and 20 minutes. And I've been kind of bopping around the park now for a minute, just talking. So probably be about 2 hours. In 2 hours, I did that much. That's insane. I would never be able to do that on my analog bike. Never. And it looks like I use basically all of my battery for that, which is okay. There we go. I was in boost mode pretty much the entire time, so you can prolong the battery quite a bit if you don't go in boost mode, which is a really nice option. You know, I'm using basically the battery. I'm pushing the battery to its limits, the motor to its limits, therefore draining the battery as fast as possible in the way that I'm riding it. And I still got that much of a ride in. You know what I mean? Like when you're going straight up steeps, like I was, you drain the battery really, really fast. If you're doing more flat riding and you're just in turbo mode doing flat riding, you're gonna get a lot more out of your battery, a lot more distance, a lot more time. And then the other additional part of this is let's see, what is it? It's 45 degrees out, and it was probably under 40 up there where I was. And we all know what they say about batteries in the cold. They're not nearly as efficient. So that's another factor. You know, if I was in 70-degree weather doing this exact same route, I would imagine I'd be getting a little bit more range out of this. So I probably sound like I'm making up excuses for this, but you know, it's just thoughts that are going through my head about it. All right, so anyways, transition Regulator CX with the Bosch CX5 motor, absolute baller bike. Super happy with my purchase of this, and I'm extremely excited to use it for the reasons that I'm excited about having an e-bike, which there's quite a few reasons, but probably one of the major reasons is more riding, more descending, more exploration, and just more options of getting to stuff that I wouldn't be able to get to with the amount of time that I have otherwise. So completely sold on getting this e-bike.
What? Fuck waiting for you to get it on your own. Deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door. It's real with the non-stop pop of stainless steel. Go hard, getting busy with it. But I got such a good heart that I'll make a motherfucker wonder if he did damn right. And I'll do it again, cause I am right. So I got to win. Break bread with the enemy. No matter how many cats I break bread with, I'll break who you're sending me. You motherfuckers never wanted nothing but your life saved. Come on, that's on the light of day. Damn, getting down like a nigga who said freeze, but won't be the one ending up on his knees. Bitch, please, if the only thing you cats did was came out to play, stay out my way, motherfucker, came out to play. Then we gonna roll, then we let it pop, go, let it go. X gon' give it to you, X gon' give it to you, X gon' give it to you, X gon' give it to you. First we gonna ride, then we gonna roll, then we let it pop, go, let it go. X gon' give it to you, X gon' give it to you, X gon' give it to you, X gon' give it to you.